Well, hello, welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and we are the body language guy show number 10. A bit late today. I had a few electricity issues, but I think that they have been solved. I really didn't do anything bad. I guess that the feds didn't want me to do my show at the right time at 12 p.m. EST. Right now is what time is it's 5 p.m. 5 p.m. EST. But we are here to catch up on what is going on with the world, the crazy stuff happening, and let's start right away. It's not is any time with this. Guy tosses cell phone at President Trump. We're going to be talking about a couple of things before we move into, well, the latest hoax involved President Trump. And also, it's very important how Kamala Harris is, using that for her advantage. But I want to talk about the elections as well. But this is a bit concerning. I'm going to mute it because what we need to see is this. Trump was walking away, this is stage, and you can see that this person right here is a man. He threw a cell phone, a mobile phone, right into Trump's feet. You can see that the trajectory is right there and falls right in front of Trump. And people are saying, how it is possible? How is it possible? How is it possible that this happens? This is a huge breach in security, because you see that immediately this guy who is like, how many steps? That this is like 3 or 4 steps away from Trump. The mobile phone lands, and then that's when this guy spots it. That's when he spots it, and he rushes. I think he's the one. No, it's the another guy who is right behind Trump, rushes to kick it away. I mean, shouldn't Trump have someone in front of him to make sure to clear the way? That is a huge breach in security. It's really concerning, because of course it's something that is on purpose, and we can see. I think that it's a man. This person right here is a man, and he just drops. What the F? I mean, what was his intention? What was it about? He drops the phone right in front of Trump. And in fact, I don't know if it's a flip phone or something, but it seems like the phone breaks or something. It's like those flip phones, the old foldable phones. I think you see that it kind of looks like a mini book at times. Those mobile phones that you can fold. It's really strange and concerning, and it just remains. It's quite a mess. It's quite a mess, and it just remains in there as Trump. People are going nuts. He should have people in front of him, and then it is kicked away. It was a bad breach. It's an iPhone with MagSafe case, and did it? But my guess is, it's not my guess, but I know that an iPhone with a MagSafe case is really tight. Correct me if I'm wrong. How is it gonna dislodge that easy? And by the way, no, I think that this is kind of something like open. You notice that he has, it's like it's shining. It's like the screen is all white, and he throws it's already like open. Okay, this shape is not simply a phone. It's something that is like a mini book, but it was really strange. There can be no explanation. I hope that he was apprehended after that, because, well, it's not something that yeah, they were signaling. Trump was okay. But, well, the kind of things that, yeah, like a folding phone case, but it looks like all light up. So let's talk about the latest hoax that they're talking about. Hoax in the sense that the lies. I want to talk about, we're going to be, this is going to be more chatty than usual. It's a bit later down here. We already are like off the mark. So I'm going to just speak a couple things here. I mean, many of you are concerned of what can happen in these days, and I've told you whatever. Maybe a black swan event, something completely unexpected. But besides something that just happened with Tim Walz calling Elon Musk gay as an insult, which is quite, well, it's concerning to say the least. It's going to be bad for them. But outside that, if Kamala's camp or Trump's camp had anything, to smear mutually or to smear each other, they would have released that long ago. So we know that if they still have something under their sleeve, I don't know, but it should have been yesterday or today. I don't know. This is maybe they are expecting something to happen. But my point is that even if you could be concerned that, they are lying again of something that Trump said, they're trying to put Trump's words out of context. People who have decided to vote for Trump have already decided to vote for Trump. That is not going to change. What can change is when they press a button on those automated machines, those voting machines. We're going to see what is happening with the voting machines. Those voting machines can actually change the vote. We're going to see 3 videos, not 1 or 2, but 3 videos of that happening. And people that have already decided to vote for Kamala Harris, they are going to vote for Kamala Harris. That is, perhaps maybe there are some undecided. But at this point, my suggestion is that the most important thing that you can do right now, in whichever way you can do it, is to protect the vote. You can still, if you know of friends who haven't voted, tell them, take them, make sure they vote. This is the most important thing. I am going to talk about the hoaxes. I'm going to talk about the lies. This is what I do. This is what I can do, but I cannot do what you can do, which is bring your friends and your family to the voting polls to help them vote. But still, we're going to be talking about this. This is what Trump actually said. So let's hear his words first.
And I don't blame him for sticking with his daughter, but his daughter is a very dumb individual, very dumb.
He's talking about Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. When the guns are trained on her face. They're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy. But she's a stupid person.
So he was essentially saying a metaphor. It's like, okay, you are a war hawk. You like steering playing the drums of wars, or I don't know how to say that, but you like to play the warmonger. You like that part. Then let's see if you can be so brave if you were standing there. It is a metaphor. It's like you would not do it if it was you who have to go to the front. That is a metaphor. And what happened? Of course, it's so predictable what happened that Trump suggests war hawk Liz Cheney should have guns trained on her face. Trump attacks Liz Cheney using violent war imagery, because metaphors are something that they don't understand. Trump on Liz Cheney, let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her. It's like they are implying, like Trump suggested, that she should be executed or something, which he did not say. That is the problem, that whatever you say can be taken out of, and will be taken out of context. And all of those mainstream media are going to pick it the same way. And of course, oh my God, Kamala, why? No, I know why. I know why. Kamala regurgitates the latest hoax that President Trump was calling for war hawk Liz Cheney to be killed. He was clearly saying warmongers like her love to send other Americans to fight their endless foreign wars as they sit in comfy DC studios. What a disgrace. And let's see Kamala talking about that, because, well, it was not unexpected.
And then...
Oh my God, this is too loud. What is this? It's too loud. I almost got deaf.
Even worse, he has increased his violent rhetoric, Donald Trump has, about political opponents, and in great detail, suggested rifles should be trained on former Representative Liz Cheney.
Again, it's a misrepresentation of Trump's words. Again, I don't think this is going to move the needle in one way or another, because you can just go and watch the clip. The clip is one of the shortest. I could understand that people are lazy, for example, with the Fine People hoax, that the clip is 4 minutes long or something like that. This is 30 seconds long. 30 seconds. You can watch a 30 seconds clip. You can watch a TikTok clip. You can watch a 30 seconds, no problem. Anybody can watch 30 seconds of Trump talking. Then they realize, all right, so it was a metaphor, that they wouldn't send, they wouldn't be so, warmongers if they were the ones, staring down the barrel. Sam Rogers says it pretty much like it is. Democrats spent 25 years saying that Dick Cheney's kids should have to go fight in a war, and all it took was Donald Trump agreeing with them to change their minds. Because, I don't know, I just, I would say that I give up. I'm doing this because I don't give up. I usually, this is something that you need to know about how I make videos. I usually take the first day of each month free, but today is November the 1st. I was willing to do my show at the usual time. Had this electricity problems, to say, well, this is like a sign of God. I will try to work on other things. But as the day went on, I realized, well, this was pretty much fixed. I would do this. I would do it either way. I was going to take today's day off, but today was show day, so that's why we are here. And I wanted to do this because precisely I'm so upset in the way they make up these things. They just create these narratives. For what? Well, one thing is for certain. Mainstream media has negative credibility. I would say that they have lost all credibility. That was like 2 weeks ago. Right now, we are deep down negative credibility for the mainstream media, and I am not complaining. There's so many things happening with them, and we also have this. We need to understand that they are truly desperate. But what I wanted to mention is that regardless, I don't think this is going to affect it is not going to move the needle. Okay, what is going to move the needle, what is going to protect the needle from moving where it should be, is to protect the vote. It is my understanding that there is a huge preparation in this year to understand what happened in 2020, to make sure that there are no doubts of what is going on. And one of the greatest differences this time is thanks to Elon Musk. And I don't mean that he's campaigning in Pennsylvania with so much intensity, which he is, but it's about buying Twitter, transforming it into X, and letting us just share whatever is happening, everything that is happening, because you know that we're going to talk about YouTube briefly today, again, in regards to that, in regards what is election misinformation. But at least we have X, and I'm betting on X, the actual mainstream video platform in around 4 years. I have my predictions about that. I'm betting on X big time. But that's the difference. There is no censorship on X right now. You have told me, many of you have reached out to me, Jesus, I got my account suspended the other day. This is still censorship. You have to make sure to, maybe you used words that implied other things. I have not been community noted. I have not been suspended. I have said and shared all the videos that I want and I deem important, can be controversial. I don't know, maybe I know how to do things right. And of course, I have a record of years treating the platform as it should be. Maybe that is the difference. Maybe with the record I have, the algorithm says, well, this guy is for real. Maybe that is the difference. I'm not going to say that I'm perfect in my use of Twitter, but again, let's say that I had to circumvent all Twitter censorship many times. I had to circumvent Facebook censorship and YouTube censorship, and so it's like you learn how to do it. But again, this is thanks to Elon. This is the great difference. One of the greatest difference. I'm not going to say that is the only one, but we have that huge tool at our disposal. And when we also have this, another lie that Kamala HQ is trying to propagate. Trump, according to Trump, he said, I told women I will be their protector. They said, sir, please don't say that. Well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. Well, that sounds like a knight, like a warrior, right? Okay, I don't care if women are going to at some point, I can understand. The consensus. We don't want you to protect from the immigrants. We don't want you to protect us from the bears, from the criminals. We don't want you to protect us from anybody. No. We are going to do it either way, because sometimes it's. I have to say it. Sometimes, let's say, people, not only women, but people in general, can be a bit too naive about risks and dangers. And well, when you know about the risks and dangers, you have the duty to protect the people, not only women, but let's say lousy men, of the risks and dangers that they insist that, we don't need any help. Again, maybe you say, you can't do that, Jesus. maybe I was raised a different way. But I think that is the right thing to do. Let's see what does Trump say.
But that's my last day in office, and you look at what's happened. That was a Elon rocket ship after that day. Look what happens to that chart. Look what happens to that chart. That was the lowest illegal immigration that we've had. All they had to do, Biden, when he went to the beach, all he had to do was leave it alone.
This is twice the
speed. In Mexico,
speed.
nobody could come in. The head of Mexico president said to me, "Of course we won't do that." No, I said, "You will do it. You will do it." He said, "No, we won't let them remain in Tijuana."
I'm going to go directly to the moment that he says it. Migrant gangs. Okay.
Violated her oath and eradicated our sovereign border and unleashed an army of migrant gangs. They're waging a campaign of violence and terror against our citizens like we've never suffered before. We've never had this before in our country. It's an invasion, ladies and gentlemen. It's an invasion.
Yeah, many people are trying to pretend that this is not happening.
Kamala has imported criminal migrants from prisons and jails, from insane asylums and mental institutions all over the world, from Venezuela to the Congo.
Venezuela mentioned. You know that many Venezuelans are triggered. Oh, how he mentions Venezuelans like we are criminals. And I say, are these people stupid or what? How imbecile can you be? I agree that the Biden-Harris administration, I am a Venezuelan, and I agree that the Biden-Harris administration is weaponizing criminal gangs from Venezuela in U.S. soil. That is a fact. You cannot deny all the records, all the witnesses, all the victims of what is going on. But then you have Venezuelans who say, "Oh no, well, how is possible that Trump is bad? I'm going to vote for Kamala because Venezuelans in the United States." I don't get me started with Venezuelans who want to vote for Kamala Harris. It's something that I could dedicate like 5 or 6 hours talking about them, but it would not be pretty. It should be only on Rumble or X, because that would be just savage. And it's like, libtards say that, oh yeah, all migrants are the same. Oh, Elon Musk was an immigrant at some point. Why are you complaining about people crossing the southern border? Because one thing is legal, and people who pay taxes, and people who are building so awesome things, and people who cross the border illegally. It's something that I need to say once more, but that's the kind of things that you have to pay attention to. How people try to put everything in the same, in the same bag. And these Venezuelans, they complain about Trump because Trump is calling us criminal. I don't feel that Trump is calling me a criminal. He is not. He is not, and I support his words. I endorse his words. It is true what he says, what is happening. It would be imbecile, stupid from me to be offended. Oh, I'm offended. Am I a criminal? No. Am I crossed the southern border illegally of the United States? No. Am I committed crimes in the United States? No. So, if there are Venezuelans who have done exactly that and practically hosted by the Biden-Harris administration, then how could I complain? Lock them up, kick them out of the United States. I don't care. You're taking too long, in fact. You're taking too long to deport them, but I'm not expecting that from the Biden-Harris administration. And I won't be expecting that from Kamala in case she wins. That's for sure. And I just hope that Donald Trump gets to do that the moment that he becomes president of the United States. But you know how it is. Stupidity runs rampant. Stupidity runs rampant. Let me see. We can move
Including
on.
savage criminals who assault, rape, and murder our women and girls. Anyone who would let monsters kidnap and kill our children does not belong anywhere near the Oval Office. And my people told me about 4 weeks ago, I was saying, no, I want to protect the people. I want to protect the women of our country. I want to protect the women. Sir, please don't say that. Why? They said, we think it's very inappropriate for you to say so.
Why is it inappropriate to say that one wants to protect the women of one's country? I don't understand that. I don't get it. Like, I would be pissed if I had someone who is in my team and say, don't say that. Why can't I say that? I don't understand. Let me try to understand why would people say that. Maybe women are going to get offended that we men want to protect them. That is so silly. You know that. You know that I sometimes I've said I'm tired of having a filter, and sometimes I have to say things like they are. And right now is Friday, and Friday is the day to say things like they are. And I have to say this. I can understand. I cannot be a hypocrite, for example, because I can say that. For example, Tulsi Gabbard I understand that she had a brilliant career in the military, in the army, right? I really don't know, but you understand, right? And there are women that join police forces and all that stuff. But you have seen the videos. And sometimes you have one guy against one guy, and the cop cannot, control or in submission. I don't know how to say that. Submission the criminal, because the criminal is so big. Imagine a female cop. It's just not possible. It's physically not possible. It's like these people allow men in women's sports. It's the same people that say, hey, you know what? We're going to reduce the demand of physical, tests for women to enter police forces. Why? So, some women absolutely would have the strength for that, but still, most women, in average, of course, there's always going to be exceptions. And of course, not all men are going to approve that, pass those tests. That's one thing. But I wouldn't say that women won't be able to protect people. But in terms of physicality, I think it's not fair for anybody. Well, it's fair for the criminal, who's going to be able to do whatever he pleases, because sometimes with one or two men, they get away with whatever they want. And there's this very disturbing clip that maybe you saw like 2 weeks ago of this women's basketball player who charged against a cop, and the cop fired 2 rounds point blank to the chest. And this player, I still don't know if it was a trans or female or what, still could slash for 5 seconds. Like, for 5 seconds is enough to just sever your jugular, an important artery, or gouge an eye or something. After 2 point-blank shots to the chest. So you tell me how this works. And don't get me started with firefighters. You need men who can carry actual um, bodies. Someone who passed out. If I pass out because I breathe smoke, I want a huge guy to be able to carry me, not a lady. It's not sexism. It's being common sense. I can understand all the ways that I can get canceled in this insanity, but something that it's about physics, biology, the things that people try to deny over and over again. And I am tired of pretending, oh yeah, I'm just going to look the other way. Just so nice. So nice. A firefighting chief, and you see, and it's a 5'7", like, I don't know, in pounds, slim lady. How are you going to carry me in case of an emergency, plus all your equipment, which is heavy enough? I don't get it. I don't get it. Call me sexist, all that you want. I know so many of you, oh, it's so sexist of you. It's biology. Biology doesn't care. What do you think about sexism or what? This is the kind of things I don't have any other way of expressing that, because they are a fact. Oh, you think we cannot protect us by ourselves? Well, I'm sure that you can protect. I'm sure that women can protect themselves as anybody can protect themselves with common sense. You try to act with common sense. You know that we Venezuelans, Latin American in general, we are born with four eyes. Like, we have 2 eyes here and 2 eyes at the back of our head. And we are in constant, like, 360 scanning everything. That is the default setting for us. And if you just have just a little bit of paranoia, you will do well. Nothing is going to happen to you. I mean, I live, if you were to Venezuela, I could be your guide in Venezuela, in any city in Venezuela, Caracas, Maracaibo, any city, and nothing would happen to you. I know. I would tell you which streets you can walk, which streets you cannot walk, at which time can you be in. You will be fine. But you would say, I thought that Venezuela was dangerous. And regardless of what we already know, that Maduro sent all those criminals to the United States to get rid of them, I would help you be safe, and not because I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu or I have guns or something like that. No, because I have awareness. I have awareness, and I know what to do and what not to do. And that is my home country. I would be fine. I always was fine in Venezuela. I have to say it. But yeah, at the same time, I had to learn really quickly. So that is the way that you can protect yourself, whether you're a woman or a man. But you cannot pretend that if you are so naive of what is happening in your country, of criminals just entering indiscriminately, and pretend that, oh, they are just harmless. They're not going to do. I'm going to just trust them. I trust the government for letting them in. No, that doesn't happen that way. And when someone says, I'm going to protect women, it's not that Donald Trump is going to come with nunchakus, all right, a la Bruce Lee, is going to be kicking everyone's ass. That is not going to happen. That is not going to happen. He doesn't mean that. He's not going to protect women personally, but he's going to make sure that the country is safe. So we have 2 levels. Yeah, we have 2 levels of being safe that absolutely have nothing to do with physicality or biology, which both of them are really more important, because when it comes to jiu-jitsu or, well, an actual physical confrontation, anything goes. Anything goes. Even if you are, I don't know, 6 foot, 200 pounds man. you can get killed. You can absolutely get killed. So being aware of your surroundings is much more important, and having a country that cares about you and having the leader of your country really care about you, that is what is actually important. Again, well, this was a ramble. If tell me if I am not canceled and on YouTube. Oh, it's a streaming. I'm still alive and well on YouTube. I have not been canceled yet. Again, at some point, I know that I have points of view that can be a bit. Is that they are not controversial. This cannot be controversial. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. We're gonna continue watching the clip. Let's rewind a bit.
They said, we think it's very inappropriate for you to say. So why? I'm president. I want to protect the women of our country. They said,
I am president. I want to protect the women of the country.
They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say, pay these guys a lot of money. Can you believe it? I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them. I'm going to protect them from migrants coming in. I'm going to protect them from foreign countries that want to hit us with missiles and lots of other things. Remember, for 4 years we had no war.
At no point he implied or said or suggested that he was going to take women's freedoms away. It is a form of a speech. Is this a way of speech? This is a way of speaking. I'm going to protect them whether they like it or not. He's not saying that he's gonna. Oh, I'm going to put you in some inside your home. You cannot leave your house. No, it's not that kind of protection. It's gonna make the country safe. It's gonna do something whether they like it or not. Okay, it's women are free to grow a mustache. How does it? It's a joke. It's not the idea. I mean, it's something that I understand. I understand Trump, and I wish I had I lacked the filter, just as Trump lacks a filter and says things like they are. I still say I have to take things easier. Things that I have opinions that can be too hard. All right, and opinions that are very personal that maybe you will not get to hear them on an open live stream. Maybe you will get to hear them if I ever organize, I don't know, a tour, the United States or the UK or Canada or something, and we get to talk without cameras and all that stuff. Maybe I could be a bit more open, but yes, I could be really controversial. I was talking about jaywalking the other day. I tweeted something that I know that many people found a bit, let's say, controversial. I'm going to look for it. Again, this is going to be a bit longish. This live stream is going to be a bit all over the place. But it's necessary. We need to talk about many things that are happening. And I know that you like me to talk about these things that way. And there was... okay, I'm going to say things. I'm going to try... I will have to... let's say... censor the harsh words. You know already YouTube doesn't like those R-rated. And my Jesus Enrique Rosas channel, my Body Language Guy show, I want it to be family friendly, and so I'm going to censor those words. Jaywalking. Jaywalking is effing third world shit. I hate it with all my guts. People who do it are subhumans, bear with me with this, who belong to dirt road encampments. They don't deserve civilization. And I'm really like all the way far right fascist with that. And I'm gonna tell you exactly why. And many of you said, and my replies on X, oh, but I live in the UK, we do it all the time if there's no traffic. And I live in Italy and we do it all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. We are not subhumans for that. And I say, well, no, you are not subhuman. You're just stupid. Because we are talking about cities like New York City. Because this was New York officially legalized jaywalking to end racial disparities. And you know how, if you have driven through a city like New York or any, packed city, you know how you feel when you're trying to, focus on the road. I hope that you're focusing on the road. And all of a sudden you get one of these subhumans crossing the street at a not designated area. No, they don't have the right because that causes accidents. And who is responsible for that accident? The person driving. I don't think that is fair. I don't think that is fair. And of course, there were also the remarks saying that I know you're being funny, but this implies that black and brown people are too stupid to understand signal patterns. No. Wait a second. I use the word people. People who do it. People who do it. I'm inclusive. I said it. I'm inclusive in my disdain for jaywalkers. They can be white, black, brown, yellow, pink, blue, couldn't care less. They are subhumans. They don't deserve civilization. And again, you need to have like a grain of common sense and a bit of IQ. Like if you have 90 IQ, you can get this, that if you are in the UK, maybe in the outskirts, and you have no traffic is coming, maybe you can do it. There's no problem. In Japan, it's going to be a bit more difficult to find someone, true Japanese, doing that. They're going to wait for the green light to cross, even if there's no traffic. In Italy, maybe you see that there are no cars coming. Okay, no cars coming, but you see people. You see these dipshits crossing the street with their faces on their phones, like they couldn't care less. Then that causes accidents. Then that causes insurance to rise. And that means that you don't have an order and civilization. And that is, you could say, Jesus, but you're being too fascist with this, too far right, too Francisco Franco with this. And how do you know, how do you think that New York was cleaned in the 70s? How do you think that, okay, so some of you are saying, I'm guilty of jaywalking, like Princess Dumbarton. I'm guilty of jaywalking. You need to understand what we are talking about. If there is a busy street, which there are traffic lights for both pedestrians and cars, you have to use the zebra cross. You absolutely have to use the zebra cross. But if there is no oncoming traffic, maybe it's a one-way street and there are no cars coming, maybe you can do it. That is not what we are talking about. You know the kind of people that we are talking about. And that moment, that is the moment that I unleash the whole Venezuelan blood on them at 11 intensity, like complete. It is unfiltered. That is 100% Jesus Enrique Rosa's expression when a jaywalker just pops up out of nowhere. And I'm really careful. Maybe video games hone my skills and my observation, and I already know that I have good observation, and I can see when someone is not gonna stop. They're not gonna stop. They're gonna, and I break a bit. I break a little. Let's let the dipshit cross the street the way they want. And I yell at them. Yes, I unleash my inner Venezuelan with a passion and say, I'm not gonna say it. I am not gonna. I was about to say it, but no. Have principles right now. Have principles, but I don't know what we were talking about. This, we were talking about civilization. We were talking about order. Something that I always loved about the United States was the order, was being a high trust society. And this is the topic that we should address as well. Why is it possible that you can vote without checking your ID? Some of you say that, some of you were Donkey Kong was saying on X that even if you don't have an ID, you have to be registered, you have to be on a list. But some of you have already reported that you don't even have to be on the list, that you just write your name and an address and you're good to go to vote. I wouldn't be surprised that even if you don't have an ID, if the Biden-Harris administration helped you move around the country, enter the country, and move around the country with flights, with airline tickets, I don't know what else are they capable of. I don't know what else are they capable of. We are talking about actual election interference, and something that is like they were talking about Jimmy Kimmel these days. It was yesterday that he was joking that Trump supporters could vote many days after the actual elections. And then we have this. Then we have this. Okay. The U.S. Department of Justice is spreading false information about voting times or locations is a serious offense. The Justice Department is vigilant in prosecuting those who try to mislead voters. And Jimmy Kimmel said that Trump voters could vote on Wednesday or Thursday. That is misinformation. And you know that Douglas Mackey was convicted of a felony for posting an election joke on Twitter to 58,000 followers, and Jimmy Kimmel made a similar joke to his 2 million viewers, and nothing has happened to him. It's like we have the two-tier treatment in the United States as well. Again, we could talk about so many things that are happening that are unfair, that are against common sense. And I'm tired of pretending, oh, yeah, that's okay. That is not happening. And if it's happening, that is no big deal. Yeah, it's a big deal. Because all this ID or not ID would be great 70 years ago, when the United States was an actual high trust society. I wasn't born yet, but there would be no problem with all the options to vote, like putting your vote on a box on the street. What? No, that is not the way. And we need to talk about. Let's jump right into this 3 videos that I need you to watch. And you see that people are trying to vote in those machines. I hate these machines with a passion. The only reason why Javier Milei won in Argentina is because they voted exclusively by hand and they counted by hand. That's it. That's what everything was analog, was no digital whatsoever. This is what is happening. They try to vote. They try to press Donald J. Trump, nothing happens. They try to press Donald Trump, nothing happens. And when they press, at some point when they press Donald Trump, is Kamala Harris the option that is highlighted? That happened back in Venezuela. In Venezuela, we had errors like you voted for someone and then the screen went blank and the paper that the machine gave you was not your choice, was another candidate. Was, of course, it usually was Chavez. Yes, of course, because it always, what a coincidence that it only works one way. You try to press Donald Trump and pop, is Kamala Harris the option highlighted. You have to be very careful with this. I hate digital machines. I hate this. You should be able to opt out of this. And finally, when you press like a third time in the middle, it changes to Donald Trump. It shouldn't be that way. That is one, I think this was in Arkansas. This is another video. You can clearly see they're trying to press Donald J. Trump in that little area. And then what happens? Boom. You saw it. It's very easy to see. Here comes the finger and there was, this is a fake video. This is a fake video. Where's I'm going to put the whole video so you can see it. Notice where is the finger entering in contact with the screen, and there's nothing in contact with Kamala D. Harris and Tim Walz. Tap. What a mess. What a mess. And this, I think this was from Kentucky. This was from Kentucky. And this was another from Kentucky as well. I think he finally tried to press with the thumb, and when he pressed with the thumb, nothing happened. He tried again. I think this is the same video that we saw before. Sorry, I put the video twice. But again, have two videos then. Two videos of this. Oh my God. This shouldn't be like this. Shouldn't be like this. Again, if the United States was a high trust society, this shouldn't be a problem. This could be, capture and before it happens. But that is actually happening. Let's see. Let's talk about this. Talk about this guy. Let's talk about Tim Walz, who said something really inappropriate. And this is not going to be covered anywhere in the media. You're not going to see this anywhere in the media. Walz calling Elon that gay guy backfires. By the way, Elon Musk said, I have no problem being called gay, to be honest. And let's see if this was some kind of slip of the mind or what happened here. What do you think? Here we go.
If you're a billionaire, Elon Musk, for example, say, that guy got it. Michigan knows that word. Look, that dude got a tax cut.
Let's do it again.
If you're a billionaire, Elon Musk, for example, say, that guy got it. Michigan knows that word. Look, that dude got a tax cut.
He just used gay in a dismissive way. He just used gay in a dismissive way, like it was an insult. Can you just imagine the meltdown of the mainstream media, X, Facebook, everyone, if this had been Donald Trump or J.D. Vance or Vivek, which they would never make that kind of mistakes. This is a slip of the mind. Something is wrong with this guy. There's something wrong with Teen Wolf. Very wrong. Very sinister. This guy has issues, and the kind of issues, that it is really concerning to be talking about that. This guy has serious issues, and of course he will get a pass. Nobody will mention this. Only, of course, the people on X. Only people like me on this live stream on the Battle Language Guy show. I just needed you to listen to this. Oh, maybe it's AI. No, it's the real deal. Now, how do you say it? Are they going to say that he misspoke again? How many times has Teen Wolf misspoken? It's like the 7th time. It's something that is just it's it's something that is, I wouldn't say embarrassing. La palabra en español es indignante. It's upsetting. It's how they can just get away with that, because the media is not going to cover that. They are not going to mention it. And the Associated Press, at least, breaking: the White House altered the transcript of President Joe Biden's garbage remarks despite stenographer concerns, AP sources say. And so we have the confirmation that actually the White House changed what Biden said. The stenographer said, he said, supporters, garbage, his supporters, without an apostrophe, and it was modified. And we even have this, I didn't mention this tweet, it has almost 18 million views. Earlier today, I referred to the hateful rhetoric about Puerto Rico spewed by Trump's supporter. This even has a typo. No, it's not a typo. It's spewed by Trump's supporter at his Madison Square Garden rally as garbage, which is the only word I can think of to describe it. That's all I meant to say. It doesn't... The only garbage I see is his supporters. He said that. How can he twist what he said into all this? I refer to the hateful rhetoric about Puerto Rico spewed by Trump's supporter at his Madison Square Garden rally as garbage. No, that is not how English works. You notice that I sometimes have trouble trying to find the right words to express myself. No, that is not how English works. But the masks are off. Saying that these people have no shame is an understatement. It's old news by this point. They are truly desperate. Again, I don't think anything that is happening in these days, not even Teen Wolf's gay guy remark, not even the Liz Cheney hoax, nothing is going to move the needle in itself. The only thing that is going to count is how you protect votes and how you make sure that I really encourage you to follow me on X. If you don't have an X account yet, can be really toxic. That's something that I need to tell you. If you need a stomach to have an X account, and you need to know how to curate the algorithm and have an actually working X account. Maybe at some point I could make some kind of a tutorial, because it's the best way to be on the top of what is going on in the world. But it's there that you can help, and whatever is going on, maybe you yourself, you can be a journalist on the street, regardless of how many followers you have. You can tag me on Twitter. I'm very active on Twitter, X, however you want to call it. So even if you have 0 followers and you see something on the street, you can tag me and I will see you tagging me. All right? So that is something that you can do. And make sure, there's a link in the description if you want to follow me on X. You can find me there. But it's really critical. Protect voting. There's so many things that are happening. There's another thing that I wanted to mention here regarding that. Okay, I need to talk briefly about this as well. You know that the other day I was telling you about the experiments I was running on YouTube and how YouTube denied the monetization of my Power Pundit channel. Even if I talk about the same topic I talk here on the Battle Language Guy, I can understand that YouTube is a league of its own, and I pushed, the boundaries in my Power Pundit with the language, especially. I don't know what effect would have the ideas that I talk about is on my Jesus Enrique Rosas channel. I have to add some variety, talk on other topics as well. But this is the reality. This article from the New York Times is effectively trying to strong-arm YouTube into censoring voices that the New York Times disapproves of. Shameful behavior from a newspaper. Election falsehoods take off on YouTube as it looks the other way. Nico Grant reports on YouTube and Google from San Francisco. Nico! I was about to say something that I could say on the Power Pundit, but I cannot say in this channel. This is the issue. This is the issue. No, but again, I think that strong words have their own time. I don't think that Nico Grant is worth of an insult. You are not worthy of an insult, Nico. You are not worthy of an insult. Not even worthy of it. You are worthless. You're not worth an insult. But the thing is that this is happening. This is widespread censorship. And I can only imagine that it's going to get worse if Kamala Harris wins. I'm still prepared for that. I will still have countermeasures. I was mentioning that a bit earlier on my X account precisely. I am not the one who is going to be affected by it. There was a discussion that we had. It was a discussion because I said this: go out and vote, take your friends with you. I don't want 4 years analyzing Kamala. Thank you. And in fact, it wouldn't be 4 years, it would be 8 years. Thank you. 8 years analyzing Kamala. I don't know. It has been like 3 months and I'm already done. I'm already done. I don't know how many times over 8 years she could say about the middle class family and no, I cannot. And I got this answer. That is not how it works. We are U.S. citizens, not obligated to vote how the world wants us to vote. If you're not a U.S. citizen, and I am not a U.S. citizen, just in case you don't know, what you or any other non-citizen want doesn't matter. all caps, signed a Georgia voter. All right, dear Georgia voter, you are right. You know what? You are right. But anyway, if Kamala wins, I've got all the countermeasures ready to not be affected in the least. I'm just suggesting that you, being an American citizen, might want to avoid that situation. So you have much more to lose than me. It's something that we need to make very clear. And again, I could have just taken a vacation, a summer vacation, not care about anything about politics. I have absolutely nothing to gain from this. I have zero to lose. In fact, I know how to handle myself in case of Kamala Harris wins. But so many people in the United States don't have that luxury. And I said as well, I tweeted this as well. Not gonna lie, sometimes I wish that liberals experience the full Kamala and Walz package. Yes, a part of me can be a shameless Schadenfreude enjoyer. Enjoy other people's misfortune. Oh, you wanted Kamala for president. You are going to enjoy Kamala for president. But just promise me that you're not going to leave the country, because that would be unfair, that you vote for someone and you don't stay the whole 8 years that they're going to stay in power. Then I remember that most of them, liberals, are virtue signaling masochists, so they will actually enjoy it. So that is not fun. That is not fun. But it is only liberals. It is only liberals. And thus this girl is worried about my sanity and tells me, Jesus, give up. You can't fix a stupid. And maybe she's right. Thank you, Justice Girl, by the way. I don't know if you are in the chat. I haven't seen you. I sometimes see you here on the YouTube chat. But if Thomas Sowell, he wouldn't give up, how could I give up? Then maybe we can fix some people. Maybe it is possible. Again, I don't have anything to win or lose. In fact, I will keep making videos. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I changed to Jesus Enrique Rosa's channel, because I want to touch other topics besides body language or politics or the royals. I want to open up my horizons. I will still be doing the body language guy show, but again, it's going to be less intense in terms of politics once the dust has settled, whatever it happens. And again, whatever it happens, we're going to be okay. But these people don't know what they are voting for. They have no idea. And again, I think this is pure and simple misinformation. Misinformation. They have been brainwashed in levels that it's just sad. It's just sad. I really don't want it to happen, but it's something that is just happening. All that I can do is to try to warn you about this and try to point out all the lies. Because if you're a legit candidate, if you legitimately want the best for your country, why didn't you do it in the last 3 3/4 years? 3.5 years. Why didn't you fix whatever you promised you're going to do as president, Kamala Harris? I don't understand that. Why do you resort to lies, to hoaxes, to taking things out of context so many times? You're going to do the same when you meet with Putin, with Xi, with all these world leaders. You're going to say, oh, he said another thing, I said another thing, I didn't mean it. You're going to tell the White House, the stenographer or whoever transcribes what you say to just adjust your words. No, that never happened. You're going to tell the mainstream media to just scrape anything that you do. Do you think that's how it goes? Again, I will not be affected. I will not be affected, but I cannot stay idle, not doing anything. Because I don't think it's fair. Because I had many people warning me when we were through the whole socialism speed run in Venezuela. And I wish I could have heard them sooner. I could not save my country. I could not be an example for my countrymen. But maybe I can do something for the United States, which I love deeply. I am not a U.S. citizen, and I don't think many of you don't care about that. I just want you to see through the lies. And if you see through the lies, whether it's we're talking about gossip and celebrities or the royals or politics, you will learn how to do it in any scenario. I would have won. That is my winning scenario, that you'll learn how to spot all this stuff that is happening. And part of that reasoning is, why would you need to resort to lies to try to prove your point? Why your policy is vote against Trump over and over again. I'm going to confess something right now. You know that after the first hour of live streams, anything goes. I'm going to make a confession right now. I think I have said this in one way or another other times, but it has to do with the quality of my audience. And when I talk about audience quality, the most important characteristic is principles and values. Again, I have in this channel, I have a video, a very important video about the difference between principles and values, and how you absolutely need to know what is your own set of values. If you don't know your own set of values, you are lost. I'm going to look for that because it's always important. I'm going to paste it in the... why I don't see it? YouTube has hidden my video on... No. Let's see. I'm sure I can find it. No. What the fuck? Yeah.
Worse yet.
That's me. I'm going to copyright myself. Values and principles. There it goes. There's the chat. I'm gonna fix it so you pin message. You can see it on YouTube pin. I haven't said this before, but you know that I changed. Some of you already know that I switched from Spanish to English because I wanted to reach, all the world. And only by Spanish, even if there's a lot of Spanish-speaking people, I knew that I was going to have a greater outreach by switching everything to English. And that's why I made my first English analysis was the Micah Stauffer case. You know, this couple who adopted a Chinese kid, and they just took him back, I don't know, months later, something like that. I don't remember the details of the case. Rather tragic. They just disappeared from YouTube afterwards. And I did it because I wanted to reach all the world. But at some point, I noticed that I began having some ideas, that my videos were not completely neutral. Let's talk about body language and stuff. No, I had ideas, I had opinions, and especially being able to explore those opinions in live streams like I am doing right now is something that I noticed that, of course, people were triggered. It's like it's for example baffling for some people that I say that I'm a Christian, but at the same time I believe in reincarnation. Again, it's something that is a very personal belief. I just mention it as a personal belief. I am not pushing this on anybody, and I'm just using it as an example that you need to find your own model of how to perceive the world and your existence. And your values is a very important part of that. That video is one of the most important videos that I made. And everything starts with that. It doesn't matter how much you know how to read body language, how to psychoanalyze people, or do a statement analysis. It all starts on your own values. If you don't know your own values, you don't know your own biases and how your perceptions are shaped by your values. It's the most important thing that you have to analyze like every 3 to 4 months, like 2 or 3 times a year. You have to do the exercise I talk about in this and that video. So at some point I said, I don't really want to reach anybody. My audience is not anybody. Because what many people told me, talking about body language, you're the body language guy. You're the body language guy, the body language guy show. Body language is amazing because everybody wants to know about body language. And of course, there's always a 10% to 20% say, body language is pseudoscience, that is not scientific. They forget that there's a journal of nonverbal behavior with all this peer-reviewed papers and all this research. I would like to introduce them to Professor David Matsumoto, which is perhaps, along with Paul Ekman, one of the most relevant scientists in terms of nonverbal communication. But well, I digress. But many people wanted to know about body language. And at some point I told myself, do I really want to reach everybody? Because some people have, or let's say, some people lack common sense. Some people are absolutely closed in their beliefs. Some people are absolutely feel threatened by anything that challenges whatever they are, whatever conclusion they have reached. It's like Trump derangement syndrome. When people have said that they don't like Trump, they will go with that whatever happens. Even watching that 30-second clip talking about Liz Cheney, they're gonna say, no, Trump is a dictator, blah blah blah. So at some point I said, okay, maybe I need to focus on body language because I need to build my channel, and my channel was based on body language. But of course, as in anything, and so many of you already know me very well, you know that I'm not only making all these crazy experiments, but I get bored easily with things. And that's why I want to talk about and research on so many topics, because I love learning and I'm very curious. And at some point I said, it would be great if I do what is considered impossible in YouTube in these days. What is considered impossible in YouTube in these days is having a channel in which you can talk about pretty much whatever you want. Okay, an actual commentary channel. You're gonna be talking. Okay, we talk about what is going on in the world. I could give you my insights, my opinions, and what do I see, what I can detect, contradictions and all the stuff, but I can do it about anything. Literally anything. And it was tough at first because when I tried to, do research, maybe you told me, Jesus, we want you to analyze this TV show, but very few people saw that TV show. And then maybe I spent back then 4, 5, 6, 7 days doing the research, watching the TV show, and finally making the video for the video to have like 4,000 views. It was disheartening, of course, but it was a big lesson. It was a huge lesson. The lesson was, it doesn't matter. The views doesn't matter. The views do not matter. Just do your best. Do your best work. And at some point, I was really concerned about the scripts and how everything had to be tidy and the editing. And now I don't use the scripts at all. I still have my teleprompter installed right in front of me. You cannot see it, of course, but there's no script in there. All my lives are, and all my videos are just taken from my lives, and my lives are not scripted. So I have evolved in that regard. But I want to be there saying that all this transformation has allowed me to reach to a point that I can say, okay, let's talk about the cultural war, politics, gossip, the royals, Disney, whatever, because everything is interconnected. At some point, you remember that I said that I was going to talk about the Duchess, which Duchess we're talking about, Disney, and the Democrats, because everything is connected. And I was not wrong. And I delivered on that promise. At some point, you remember that in the Royal Rogue, I spoke about that connection between Meghan Markle and Disney and all that when Bob Iger designated Bob Chapek as CEO when it was not really CEO, was just to be able to face the pandemic. That was fascinating for me. That story, I remember I wanted to talk about that story on my Scene Surgeon channel. It was called Pop Tank at the time. For 1 year. I didn't have the energy. I didn't have, okay, this is such an awesome story. I want to talk about that. And I ended up having a long live stream talking about that on my Royal Rogue channel, which doesn't make much sense, but it finally had to do something with Meghan Markle. So I spoke about that. And it didn't have to do with body language, but it did have to do with manipulation and how people play 5D chess, in this case, Bob Iger, for, nefarious reasons. And I found it so interesting. So that was the inflection when I said, I really needed to get my act together. I really need like to normalize this. I need to at some point say, you know what, I'm going to talk about whatever I want. Because the Disney drama had nothing to do with the royals up to that point. I should have spoken about that earlier. Fascinating topic. I did not have any body language whatsoever. And I kept saying, okay, I want to talk about the things that matter to me. So the channel should be me. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to change my body language guy channel that I have worked so hard. I'm not going to change to my name. No. In fact, so many of you already know the story of why did I call it the body language guy, because I really believed nobody was going to remember my name. And I was so wrong. So many of you just love my name, and it's so humbling how I pronounce it, Jesus Enrique Rosas. And it's funny. But I even got some shirts. I haven't been able to fix my merch store, by the way. But whatever. Here I am. And I was talking about audience quality. How can I have the highest quality audience possible? The only way is telling the truth. And I'm not going to lie. Telling the truth is terrifying. I mean, this is live. This is unscripted. I never know what's going to happen. Maybe I'm going to talk about protecting women and why do I think that, yes, you should not lower the physical tests and for the police forces or firefighters because women are failing them and you have to lower that. No. And I say, but Jesus, this is common sense. It's something that you have to say. And this is part of my values. This is part of the way that I value the dynamics between men and women. So I should tell the truth and be clear about that. And explain, of course, I think that you deserve, my lovely audience, an explanation of how did I reach to that conclusion. Because in this channel, we don't only study human behavior, we study thinking, which is one of my favorite topics. Thinking is for me one of my 5 favorite topics. So it's not only this is my opinion, but this is how I reach it. So maybe it can help you reach other conclusions. That is the idea. So at some point I said, my audience is going to shrink. It's not going to grow bigger. It's actually going to shrink. Why? Well, first of all, it was obvious that if I touch politics the way that I did it, and I'm doing it, well, it was going to be explosive. I remember one really good article from Joe Navarro. Maybe you know Joe Navarro, the author of the book, What Everybody Is Saying. He made a very good analysis, political analysis. I don't remember which year. It was like 4 years ago. Maybe it was in the 2020 primaries. And he was thoroughly attacked by both sides, both Democrats and Republicans. It was fascinating to watch. It was something that told me this is a no-win situation. If I get into politics, this is what's going to happen. Everybody's going to attack me. And I said, I'm going to just to delay this as much as, just ignore this as much as possible. The last time I did anything remotely political was analyzing Donald Trump's mugshot last year. It was in September, if I remember correctly. And of course, I lost like 10,000 subscribers back then. Not that I miss them, not in the least, because I was really fair. I was really neutral. I was just analyzing the mugshot, the way that he appeared in that mugshot. And I say, why would I worry? Why would I care if they live? I know what I did. I was fair. I was scientific. I am telling the truth. And not my truth. I'm telling the truth. If they want to live, they would live any other way. It's better that they live. Life can be strange, fascinating. It's beautiful living life, because you never know what you're gonna get. It's like the box of chocolates. I don't want to mention Forrest Gump, but it always circles back to Tom Hanks, and you know that Tom Hanks is compromised. Oh my God, we need new movies with AI actors that don't endorse or go to freak off parties and all this stuff. And it's impressive. I find it so ironic that the topic that I avoided like the plague, politics, talking about American politics, which I, in general, it's not something that I'm attracted to naturally, maybe more to history, but not politics in itself. I mean, maybe I liked one of the series that I love the most is House of Cards. Cannot deny it. I really love the first 4 seasons. The first 4 seasons were lit. But it's strange how this brought me to, well, forced me. I needed to tell the truth. I needed to say what happened in Venezuela and try to warn people, even at the risk that this is going to cost me a lot of people. This is going to cost me people who are right here and don't want to know anything about, and they don't want to talk about politics. And I can understand so many of my fellow content creators, how virtually so many of them, if not a single one of them, had really touched the U.S. elections with everything that is happening. I mean, I don't blame them. It's something that is gonna be is a mess in the comments sometimes, but they are not in the position that I am. I absolutely had to talk about this. And by the way, there's a channel. There's a channel called The Body Language Ghost that they have been creating body language videos about U.S. politics way before I started my YouTube channel. They were already making body language videos about U.S. politics, and for some reason, they are pro-Trump. For some reason, 1 month ago, they stopped uploading. I don't know what happened to them. I was always keeping an eye on them. Especially I always studying YouTube, how it works. But for some reason, they never uploaded. This was the moment. This was the moment to shine. A channel who talks about body language, U.S. politics, and they are fans of Donald Trump. There was a moment to shine, and they disappeared from everywhere. It was a bit strange. It was really strange. I don't know what happened to them. I never had contact. I have a contact with Spidey from the behavioral arts that recently had his first child. The behavior panel, red guys as well. Basically, they are the most relevant in this field, that we talk about what is going on. But these people, the body language ghost, is called the YouTube. They just disappear. It was their moment to shine, and it was strange. If you, I don't know, they were censored, but not even in Patreon. Not even in Patreon. They have uploaded. It was really strange. I wanted to see their take on all that was happening. And I said, well, how come am I alone in here? They were censored, but I don't know. Yeah, I reach out to my body language analysis friends. I think it's important, especially because at some point there are so few of us in this, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm not gonna be talking about body language. Human behavior is something that fascinates me. Body language is something that fascinates me. You know that when I want to do a body language analysis, I go all in, and not gonna complain. YouTube rewards me handsomely with hundreds of thousands of views, so I cannot complain in that regard. I think that if I talk about body language, regardless of the topic, whether it's Donald Trump or Kamala Harris or Tim Walz or whoever it is, I'm gonna be fine. But I want to talk about other topics. But coming back to you, to my audience, to audience quality. Audience quality only comes from telling the truth. And again, telling the truth can be terrifying. Telling the truth, you cannot say that, just like Trump was saying, oh, sir, you cannot say that. You cannot say that you want to protect women. Why can't I say that? I will say that any day of the week. I want to protect women as well. Oh, you're implying that women need protection. Well, I am implying that anybody needs common sense, which is so important and so uncommon. It's the less common of the senses, as we say in Spanish. But the more I get involved and the more I tell the truth, the more sincere I am with you, the more unfiltered I am with you. I always been sincere with you, but I always have a filter, not to hurt sensibilities. I know that many people are gonna leave, but I now have the luxury to say I never really needed those people in the first place. It's something that, of course, it's can be a change, but it's a very good change, especially because I really don't try to be triggering for triggering's sake. I don't want to be cruel for being cruel, for the sake of being cruel. I don't want to be upsetting. It's not just to be upsetting. That is not how it works. I can be controversial, like my jaywalking opinion, but it's not in itself. I try to explain my way of thinking and how I reach conclusions. And ultimately, it's something that I feel making this life, that's why, regardless of the time, I wanted to do a show today. Because it's one I see, I have the luxury, this is literally a luxury, to being able to assemble a show about these topics. You want to you want to know what is happening, and I'm really humble that you want to know my opinion of that. That is humbling. That is humbling to know that you care about my opinion. Then that is a responsibility that I have with you. But the most important responsibility is to tell the truth. And tell the truth is going to drive people away. And that's okay. Because they never belong at, I don't know, I don't know the past tense of that. They don't belong here in the first place. I don't know how much time, but I want to say a couple of words. I feel extremely blessed and privileged of being able to do this. It's something that I never thought possible, and I don't know if I mentioned this. When I still was in Venezuela, I was teaching English on political science faculty at the local university. And of course, we was English at the university. They saw just one English in all their career, only one. I think was in second year. And I had people who were bilingual and people who knew zero English. So it's not that I could make just one class for everybody. It was impossible. I find it really funny, fascinating, ironic. I don't know how to say this. That what I resort to during those classes was checking the news of, for example, I had classes on Tuesdays. And 2 hours before going to class, I checked the news in terms of politics, international, whatever was happening in the world. And I began with a monologue. The class was a monologue about what was going on in the world. And asking opinions. And at the same time, I not only had all the levels of English proficiency, I have commented this before. I had students who were far right and far left. How do you talk about it? But it worked. It worked really, really good. We had a great time. We share all insights. It's completely different when you talk face to face in a polite way. And right now, I find it so mind-blowing that almost exactly 10 years ago, I was going to the university with my suit and tie and all the suit and tie. And to teach, and my classes were exactly this. Without the memes, without the videos, of course, we were a cappella. I had absolutely zero resources, digital resources. Had to be only speaking about the news of the day. And 10 years later, I am here speaking about the news of the day on a global scale. Crazy. There's no other word. That is crazy. That's why I don't know where I will be in 10 more years. Nobody knows. But it's so fascinating how you see these cycles in life. And I was extremely lucky of having to fight all these ordeals from 2018 to 2021, 3 years of hard times. It's something that I say, I need to bring you the absolute best. There's something, I cannot do anything else. I I cannot imagine doing anything beyond this, besides this. And of course, it was a bit terrifying, that I was a bit disappointed that I couldn't do today's show at the right time. But we got to do it. Either way, I have no bosses. I have nobody. I have no editorial team to control me. I can do pretty much whatever I want. And what I want is this. That's why I think that we're going to have a great time, a better time, and it's going to be just great. Just great. I need to mention that there's a super chat in here. A nice super chat. Shannon Miller. Shannon, I highly value you, Jesus. You bring so much intelligence and honesty. Thank you. And Rose, thank you, Shannon. Thank you for that amazing super chat. I try to do my best. And of course, well, your comments, all your comments are just awesome, and I'm really glad of being able to share this time with you. There's so much we need to talk about, but it's getting a bit late for me. I need to sleep. I'm sleeping better. I'm a bit excited, of course. I have not anxiety, but excited for what is going to happen on Tuesday. Whatever happens, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Remember that you have the power to react to your circumstances. That is the most important thing. Regardless of what happens, no matter what happens, what is most relevant is your power over your circumstances. And you have it in droves. In droves, no, it's not the word, right? I'm mixing things up, but you understand. You understand it. Let me see your comments here, some of your comments. My entire family loves your channels. Thank you, Cronite. Thank you, Cronite. Bobcat, we hope our encouragement encourages you. It does. It does. It does, because you are here, and well, that's what keeps me going on. Samantha, my other Zoom helper. If Kamala wins, I will probably be behind bars. Oh my God, don't say that, please. Don't say that. I'm gonna miss you. Janice Bloom, thank you for sharing your experiences, and others should be awakened to it because it is happening here. I try to do my best, but I'm entertainment, education. Some call it edutainment. People always have a new word for everything, but I try to bring something else. All right. Oh, that is funny. That question is funny. Do you teach Spanish? I think it was Bobcat who said that. Do you teach Spanish? I don't teach Spanish. I know how to use Spanish, but since I learned it, mother tongue, is a bit difficult to teach. Something that I do intuitively it would be a bit easier for me to teach English, because something that I had to learn. I don't know. It's a fact. And Boutique Mods, I appreciate your perspective. Thank you. I was concerned when you didn't show up. I was so that you hadn't been canceled. Keep up the good work and take care of yourself. I will, Boutique Mods. Yes, well, I think we are good for today. I'm still preparing what I'm going to do on Tuesday. I was going to work a bit on the technicals, but again, I'm addicted to this show. I'm addicted to this show, and regardless of what we talk about, I'm sure that I can make it more entertaining. Just give me some time. Just give me some time, and I will make it even more entertaining because you deserve it, my body language buddies. So, my body language buddies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. And until we meet on another video or another live, remember the most important words: much love and bliss. Take care. Be safe. Go and vote. Bring your friends and family. Remember that I love every single one of you. Bye-bye.